So as I understood today, you've been talking about the continuity of the government in Hungary. What's the main reason of this?
Of the continuity of the government. Well, I believe there are many different reasons, but in the times of quite big geopolitical instability, different crises, energy crisis, migration crisis, what we need is rather a stable government that knows what they are doing, with a very firm stand. And actually, I think what is most important, putting their citizens on the very first place. So when I think about the leader who should be representing me, I'm Polish, I'm not Hungarian. So, but when I think about the leader who I'm voting for, I would like them to take into consideration my interest as a citizen of their country.
So do you think that the new government should be different?
No, I don't think so. I mean, of course, I'm not voting here, so I'm living, and I think that's what other countries, should do. They should leave the voting to the Hungarian citizens, because they are the ones who will be deciding about the situation. And if they are satisfied, they will re-elect the current government. And if they are not satisfied, they will vote for somebody else. But I don't think interfering in the internal political situation in a country is something that we need. And if I'm looking at the Hungarian political arena, I don't see another leader who would be so firmly fighting for their own interest on the global arena.
But since Orbán Viktor focusing on global issues, the internal issues seems have moved out of his focus.
Could you give me some examples?
Yeah, for example, the prices become much higher, and of course the EU funds had stopped.
Yeah, but EU funds did not stop because actually something went wrong. In Poland we had very similar situation when we had the previous more right-wing government. And our previous government was also fined because apparently their actions were not in compliance with the rule of law. Our judicial reform was not in compliance with the EU regulation. Our climate policy was not in compliance with the EU regulation. And then the government changed. And even though the new government did not change a simple thing about it, the fines disappeared. Why? Because the new government is in a very friendly relation with the EU Brussels elites, and if there are any votings, they are voting together, even if it's against the Polish or European citizens. With regards to prices, I mean, you have a war just across your border. You have energy crisis, and you have really unstable situation. It's just enough to look at what's happening in the Middle East. So I'm pretty sure that the prices might increase once again. But I believe these, unfortunately, are the costs that we are paying because we are paying for the war that should end as soon as possible.
Yeah, but it was Putin who started the war.
Yeah, that's true.
And
but can you tell me if the sanctions are working?
Yes.
Are they working? I don't think so.
Well,
Are people dying in Ukraine? They do.
Since 4 years, the
Yes,
Russian army
since
could
four
not defeat
since
Ukraine.
4 years,
Yes.
you have ongoing war in Ukraine.
And what is better?
I think if you look at peace and war, I think peace is much better than war. I mean, I don't want the Ukrainian citizens to be dying, and I don't want Polish citizens to go there and die as well. If you're asking me if the sanctions are working, I don't think so. If the sanctions would be working, we wouldn't have a war right now.
Would you like to have a border with Russia?
I have border with Russia. I'm Polish. We have border with Russia.
Yeah, a short one.
Yeah, we do.
But not a long one.
Well, I
the
don't.
Polish society
I don't.
is very Russophobe, as far
The
as
Polish
I know.
side?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have many bad experiences from the Russian side in the past, but at the same time, we also have some bad, historical experiences from the Ukrainian side. Have you heard about Volhynia massacre?
Of course.
Yeah, and even though it happened, Polish citizens were capable of overcoming these bad experiences from the past. And we welcomed Ukrainian citizens, refugees, with open hearts to our houses. There were no refugee camps in Poland, which unfortunately was not really recognized on the European arena. But then, Polish government realized, I don't know if it was actually the Polish government, but I think people realized that the gratefulness that we were, expecting is not the currency of the nowadays politics. I remember the situation. Poland was trying to present itself as an advocate of Ukraine on the European level, but I think also on the global level at certain point. Unfortunately, when the big grain dispute started in the European Union, and the Polish side said, well, you can transit it, but we will be not buying it. You can send it wherever you want, you can send it to Germany, but we will not buy it. I remember President Zelensky compared Poland to Russia. Compared us to Russia, and I believe this was one of the waking moments for us. That even though we're really giving everything, we cannot even expecting thank you. I don't think it's a correct thing. But we didn't even we're treated as a equal partners, unfortunately. So if you're asking me if I want to have a border with Russia, well, we have a border with Russia and we have a border with Ukraine, and attacking any sovereign country shouldn't be accepted. If you're asking me about this, yes, but at the same time, paying for the war to be lasting for a very long period of time, I don't think it's beneficial for anyone. But of course, I don't want to have a longer border with Russia, but I don't really think this situation would happen, though I don't have my glass ball with me, so I cannot predict the future. But I don't think injecting fear into society to consolidate it is a good strategy.
Right now, if you look around in the last few years, the posters of the ruling party was about bombs and war and stuff like this. And even this campaign of the Fidesz party is about the war, which is not hitting Hungary.
Well, but economically, I believe it is.
Well, economically, the government did many mistakes. For example, we pay higher price in the shop. You can compare with the Krakow shops.
Yeah, I'm comparing, for example, the prices of the rentings, because that's something
yes.
that concerns me, because I'm renting in Budapest, and I was also renting in Warsaw, and it's my experience. I'm a foreigner here, and I'm very grateful that Hungarian citizens welcomed me with so much of respect and friendliness. But I'm also very happy that I was offered, and I am able to be working at such a great state university. The prices of the rents are actually, I think, lower in Budapest. At least these are my experiences, so I cannot talk on behalf of everyone else. but they are simply cheaper. So I wouldn't be able to rent such, for example, a room or apartment for this price in Warsaw. Why? Because we welcomed so many refugees, and we had a certain amount of the free spaces, and unfortunately they they just rented them, and now the prices are very, very high.
Yeah, it's the need and demand, of course, works in every
Economy.
market.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you have higher salaries, so even the men live a longer life. So
No, I don't. Unfortunately,
Hungarian men die earlier than
I don't.
Polish
I
men.
unfortunately don't have such data, so I cannot, hold this discussion. I don't know what is the expected, age, at the birth, and how is it changing throughout the time. So I cannot, unfortunately, answer this. Whether accusations or these arguments that you're giving me.
I'm sorry, I'm just telling you that this government is promoting the palinka. Everyone can make 50 liters in 1 year. Is that possible to make Zhubrovka 50 liters every year for every Polish citizen? Is that possible?
I mean, you can do. You can, for example, and I think that's actually a cultural thing in our region. We really cherish traditions in my family and in many other families in the region. We are very proud, of some of our family products that we can create together. We have nalewka, for example. I wouldn't say it's something exactly the same as palinka, but that's something that is one of our cultural elements, and that's also how we are gaining money abroad, because we are exporting our products. And I'm not promoting drinking alcohol, but there are certain cultural elements. If you are doing it with taking into consideration health aspects. We are all human beings. I like to eat sometimes chocolate. I like sometimes to drink amazing Hungarian wine, and sometimes I like to eat a langosh, or sometimes I will eat bigos. That is also very fat, and it's a Polish dish. So I don't really understand why we're trying to demonize everything. I am a guest here, and I'm really grateful that I have such opportunities in your country that I really believe is very beautiful. I even tried skiing in airplane. I cannot really complain about my life here. I believe that Hungary is a great place in Europe. My grandparents were coming to Hungary when they were younger. I was coming to Hungary as a child for summer camps, for example. I was training rhythmic gymnastics. And always Hungary was this very, very nice, very friendly place with a kind of Mediterranean spirit in a way. Always sunny, beautiful weather, good food. I will not join this, negative approach that you were giving me, but I can understand, that some people are not satisfied. But I believe that's quite natural, and that's simply natural, because not everyone will like one political leader, and not everyone will like a certain political party. But the elections are upcoming. And you have the right to vote and choose somebody who you believe would be a great leader, or who is already a great leader. So it's up to the Hungarians.
Yeah, culturally both countries are very close to each other. There were common kingdoms, but if you look at the last 30 years, and you probably heard about the speed train of Warsaw. So what's happening in Poland, that's usually repeats in Hungary.
What do you mean that what's happening?
How the governments are changing, and also
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We will see. The upcoming elections, are coming closely. 12th of April, right? So we will see. I mean, everything can happen. We could see the polls in the United States of America. We could see the polls in Poland with the presidential elections. Nobody was rooting for President Nawrocki, and somehow he won the elections. And I'm very happy that he won the elections, because we have a very nice stabilizer towards the crazy, sometimes policies of the government.
Thank you.
Thank you.